There we go. Camera's on. I did it. I really feel like I need a brownie button for that. Just kidding. Hello, everyone. How are you doing? Day whatever of quarantine based on where you live. We're doing okay here. Kids are getting a little restless, especially since the snowstorm yesterday was pretty brutal in our area, so we weren't able to get outside for at least a bike ride. But we're managing. I actually kind of love this homeschooling thing with the exception of the attitude of the teenagers, but it's cool. I have just as much attitude as them. Anyways, so today's concept, somatic feedback. What the hell is that? Somatic feedback is just a fancy way of saying what emotional responses you have and how they affect your body and get stored in the tissues. Issues live in the tissues. There is a somatic marker hypothesis that neurologists are currently developing. Neurology is a fascinating field because there's so much unknown. But what they're trying to figure out in the holistic medicine world, we have known for centuries. So with somatic marker hypothesis, that's essentially your emotional reaction and how it equates into a somatic reaction, so body, physical reaction, and how those reactions and that hormone release support decision making, especially in rational experiences, and how your past experiences have influence or do influence that chain of events. So your body doesn't know the difference between thoughts and actions. It will release the same hormones regardless. And so that's why whenever you see hippie woo-woo people, they're like, imagine a world like this. The reason why we tell you to use your imagination is because you can trick your brain and trick the hormonal release processes going on with your imagination. And so that way, like we talked about yesterday, the looping can get redirected into a healthier pattern instead of storing in an unhealthy way, like a hyper-excitatory way. I won't get too much in the science behind all of that because that's a whole nother rabbit hole, loophole that we could go down. So somatic feedback in your body, it's always talking to you. During times of stress, especially right now, I invite people to kind of go inwards and say, what does that look like for me? What's my body saying? Not just I'm tired, I'm stressed. There's a lot of intercorrelating pieces that we tend to forget about. If people don't believe that your issues are stored in your tissues, think about when you're super stressed. What does that do to your appetite? That's like one of the first correlations people can make is what happens to your appetite. Do you get super hungry? Do you lose your appetite when you get really emotional? That is a somatic response. Your body's always talking. Especially when we're in times of stress and the fight or flight reflex going on, we tend to shut off our connection to our body and we're not always paying attention to the somatic feedback coming in. Our body will tell us, hey, homegirl, sit down, you need to eat, you've reached your maximum, I'm having pain here, and I need you to listen, and we shut it off because like, no, I got to do this with the kids, and I got to go here, and I got to pick this up, and I got to clean this house, and this laundry is not stopping just because I'm quarantined for 2 weeks or 3 weeks or wherever you're at. And so we end up bypassing our own alert systems and focusing on what we need to do. What do you think happens to your inner trust system when you do that? So, for example, say you're one of those people that doesn't ask for help often, and then you finally go out of your way and ask a friend for help, and you give them the signs and signals like, hey, I need you to pay attention to this, I need help, and then they're like, oh, you got this, cool, I'm gonna go to the club, I'm gonna go do this, you're good, right? Okay, bye, I'm out. So how does that make you feel? Fuck, I can't trust them. They're not going to show up for me in my time of need. So that's the same relationship, that same intercorrelation that goes on with you and your inner trust. I know it sounds corny, but it's true. Science is proving it. Neurologists all over the world are studying these hypotheses, and they're like, whoa, the mental aspect, the emotional aspect really is having a huge effect on the brain. And they're starting to map out whole new protocols for treatment because of these cool things we've known about for centuries. So going back to somatic points, I know I'm kind of jumping around a little bit. Too many thoughts of the brain. But anyways, so when it comes to chakra points, acupuncture, acupressure points, they've known this stuff for centuries. That's why when we push here in our hand, we can alleviate a headache. So these ancient medicines have known forever the cross-correlation points on the body to emotional responses and where we store this emotional responses in our on a cellular level in our tissues. They've known this, and that's why those treatments have worked for thousands of years. And so it comes to a point where we need to really pay attention. Where am I having pain? Where am I having discomfort? And how does that relate to emotional response? And we can get into more of that later. Right now is just to talk about an awareness around it. Having that awareness that when you're having emotional responses, negative thoughts, stressful thoughts, your brain will begin to release hormones, and that will begin to store and loop in your body. And then your body can also over time get addicted to wanting those biofeedback loops and wanting those same hormones to be released, good or bad. And then your subconscious will push you to keep recreating experiences to keep releasing those same hormones. Okay. So back to inner trust. How do we restore inner trust with our body, with ourselves, in our inner experience? During this quarantine time, this is a great time to do this and practice this. So start with listening to your body. Where are you having pain, discomfort? And even if you don't know what the acupuncture point is or what chakra that is, you can go in and just listen to it. Say, oh, I'm having pain here. Maybe I should just rest that. Or maybe I should go sit down and take a break. Maybe I need water. Maybe I haven't had enough water to flush out the lactic acid buildup. Maybe I'm hungry. Maybe I need a nap. Just start simple. I like starting people with simple, low-hanging fruit. Listen. All right. Another way to balance that is to pay attention to your thoughts. Because, like I said, your body does not know the difference between an actual experience and a thought. It will release the same hormones in the body regardless. So when you're having negative thoughts that aren't helpful to you, ask yourself, says who? What does that mean? Okay, well, I really don't like this person because, okay, well, says who? Well, says me. Okay, why? Okay, well, because of this experience I had. All right, so you're having a thought about not liking this person or situation based on a past experience. So all that does is loop your brain back a little bit further so that you're not feeling like you're having a direct experience, that you're not re-experiencing on a hormonal level in the brain that negative situation you had. It's removing you a couple steps back so you can become that role of the observer and say, okay, I'm having an experience. I'm witnessing myself have a strong emotional reaction from more of a third-party perspective, and that will dull the hormonal release in the brain so you're not storing as much of the same stress hormones. I know it sounds a little weird, but it works. Same thing, like, I'm so stupid. I can't homeschool these kids. I'm so stupid. I don't get this. Okay, you're stupid, says who? Says who? Well, I don't know, says who? Well, did somebody tell you you were stupid when you were younger? Did somebody tell you those things? Are you taking on their thoughts and beliefs as your own? And then talking yourself out of doing something you're completely capable of doing? Maybe you just need a little extra help. Maybe you need more online resources, but you're completely capable. Humans are untapped potential. We have more potential than we give ourselves credit for. We are so guilty for letting old stories and things people used to say about us or tell us interfere with what we're completely capable of doing. Oh, I can't get better. I can't break out of my depression or anxiety. Says who? Who's telling you that? Is it your anxiety? Is it your depression? Is it those hormonal loops you've been stuck in for years of suffering from depression? Is that what's telling you that? Because it is possible. Our emotions act like naughty, naughty toddlers. They can run rampant and really make our lives hard if they don't get checked. And so it becomes a balance of learning how to honor your emotions, honor your experience, because you're allowed to feel sad and angry and however you need to feel, but it becomes a balance of checking that shit so that it doesn't run your life into chronic issues such as anxiety, depression, and other things, which become full-blown illnesses for us. And chronic ongoing conditions, which then lead into all sorts of other things. Chronic anxiety and depression and all that stuff lead to, because issues get stored in the tissue, lead to heart disease, and cancer and all sorts of other things. I'm not saying if you have those things, you're going to get those things. I'm just saying issues get stored in the tissues if you don't begin to learn how to work with your body, work with your mind, work with your emotions, and check them and learn therapeutic tools and processes to get them to take your power back from them. There, that's a better way of saying that. Okay. So the last little exercise I like to walk all of my clients through is simple yeses and nos. What is my body telling me, yes or no? And the reason why I do this is because over time, being stuck in survival mode, do, go, 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 we bypass our own somatic feedback system, what our body's telling us, what our mind's telling us, what our emotions are telling us. We override it because we're like, we got to go do this thing and I got to go do this and then this is happening. Understand that that impacts your inner trust, your subconscious and other parts of yourself, because we are complicated machines. All of this sacred temple is a complicated layer machine. When you begin to start having mistrust, you start to have imbalance, and then your body, brain, emotional body, all of that's like, I don't know how to communicate with this person over here because every time, oh, no sound. Oh no. Okay, I'm gonna keep rolling, guys, and then I will repost the video link because I'm almost done. Sorry about that. Okay. Okay, so yeses and nos. Start simple. Close your eyes, take a deep breath. If I were to ask you, do you want something you really love? Ice cream, pizza, to go to a warm beach. What does the first yes feel like in your body? Okay. Does it feel like a lightness? Does it feel like your chest jumps? Does it feel like your stomach is like, woo? That's a yes. Pay attention to that sensation. Draw it up. Get to know it. Same with nose. Take a deep breath, sink deeper into your seat. Kind of clear your mind for a minute. Think about something you really don't want to do. Stay locked indoors for a month. Run out of food. Just anything that's a very strong no. What does that feel like in your body? What does that feel like in your tissues? Does it feel like ice? Does it feel like a hard stop in your body? Honor that, thank it, thank the yeses and nos. And now when you go about your day, play with it. Do I want a hamburger? Yes or no? And then listen to what your body says. Do I need to go take a nap? Yes or no? And by doing this simple exercise, even amongst your daily routines, you start to begin to rebuild that inner communication and trust with your body, your mind, your emotions. It's a simple, silly little thing, but it works really, really well. And that's the point of all these little videos that I'm doing, is to help people reestablish their inner connection so that you can move forward into your best life, what works best for you. Some of the things I talk about, you're not going to connect with. If you don't, bench it. Not a big deal. I don't take offense. Everybody's different. We are complex beings with a lot of complex needs. And these are some simple low-hanging fruits for you to begin to play with and see how they work for you. All right, everybody, I hope you have a fantastic day. School's about to be in session around here. I can hear my teenagers going, no, already. All right, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.